Okay, as I promised. So this has one of the few aftermarket parts that was ever built for it, was this quick release saddlebag mount. It's made by a place in Nevada, and it came with this and the saddlebags, which don't look that bad on there. I mean, they're cheap, but when I bought it, it didn't have the saddlebags. From the factory, it's got the slash cut exhaust, which is a little loud for my taste, but it does sound good. I'm not gonna lie. So right here is the dipstick for your oil, and there's this tube that runs into the top of the crankcase there. And there's a hose clamp that holds it on. If that clamp gets loose, there's wind that when you're riding runs through here, and it'll grab the oil mist and just spread it all over your bike. That was a fun one I had to learn the hard way. So when you buy one, take this cover off and secure that hose. The bracket that held this on was a little flimsy, and there are fixes for that out there. So get the nice strong bracket. You do need some extra grounding. So I take this one right off the where a lot of current's going off the starter there, off the engine, straight to the frame, and I have one off the battery box as well, off the engine as well. They do tend to run a little warm. They're kind of a high performance machine. There are 4 valves. So there is an oil cooler out there that was designed and built by Atlantic Excelsior-Henderson that's got a fan on there, and it actually works pretty well. They've done some runs on it, and they've done a lot of testing and shown that it actually does reduce the head temperature about 30 degrees, which is, pretty impressive. The front end is pretty impressive, and it's heavy. One of the things I was afraid of when I first bought the motorcycle is that it was going to be a little unwieldy, but its manners are actually pretty good. They wanted this to be, reminiscent of the old Henderson Super X's, and through the fender and everything, and they wanted it to have a no diving front end, so when you come to a stop, you don't lose any of your compression. So and it actually does work very well, and fairly low maintenance. There's not a lot you got to do to it. It's got a nice horn case up front, and this was a factory accessory, the light bar there. You'll see that I have these heated grips on there. I'm a big fan of those. They come on and off. Summer riding, winter riding. I don't like to hardwire them in, so I just have it run off of the plug for the battery. I just wired one of those 2-prong situations on there, so I run it underneath and just plug it in, and that way just got to remember to make sure it's always off, because it'll be on whether you like it or not. This bike is number 593 off the assembly line, and not quite off the assembly line, but it's badged 593. You'll see the new air filter kit runs a K&N filter, a 3-inch filter. Sticks out a little bit. The 2-inch filter is nicer because it hugs in a little tighter, but I like the 3-inch filter because it was cheap, for that reason alone. It's got the new dampeners on there. This engine does vibrate quite a bit, so the new dampeners is a must, front and rear. What else? I do have a windshield for it. I do like the gauge cluster. It is good looking. Very, the whole bike is very 90s. The left side of your tank here Doesn't actually go anywhere. So you can use it for storage if you want. Put your doobies in there or whatever. And it's got to be a kind of a crunched up doobie. It's not real tight. And then struggle to get it back on camera one-handed, you know, situation. There we go. It's hard because you're not used to doing lefty-tighty, you know what I'm saying? Give it the click. Then you got your gas. Fuel gauge works pretty good. Tag, everything works. It's got this passenger seat and that was a factory sissy bar as well. Yeah, Oddball. I always thought they were really good looking bikes.